Hi everybody, this is a blue and red Mindsplice Apparatus combo deck for Explorer. This kind of builds on a deck that we played before that used storm cards like Grape Shot and Mind's Desire to win the game after casting a whole bunch of spells and drawing through most of our deck. Well, I wanted to make a version for Explorer and see if we could make it work without the storm cards. The bulk of the deck was so powerful on its own and just did so much by itself that I was hopeful that we could find some different win conditions in the Explorer environment. So before I get into that, let me tell you how this deck works. Primarily, we're looking for Mindsplice Apparatus. That's the key to making the whole deck work. Once we can find one of these, either in our opening hand or by using Impulse or Experimental Augury to look at the top few cards and pick out what we need, we want to flash this in at the end of our opponent's turn as soon as possible because we can generally win as soon as we're able to put an oil counter on it during our upkeep. And how do we do that? We've got a few copies of Contentious Plan, draws a card and proliferates, and then Experimental Augury, that's kind of a mini impulse, lets us take a look at the top three, and then we proliferate. So that's how we get additional oil counters on the Mindsplice Apparatus way ahead of schedule. Once we have at least 3 oil counters on the apparatus, that's a 3-mana discount on all of our instants and sorceries. Conveniently, that makes our cards like Pirate's Pillage cost just 1 red mana. This will draw us 2 cards and net us 2 treasures each time we're able to cast this. Since there's only 8 of these in the whole deck, one thing we can do to recast these spells, along with some of our proliferate spells, is use Bond of Insight. It mills 4 cards, then we get to return 2 instant or sorcery cards from our graveyard to our hand. Then we can start the big score Pirate's Pillage process all over again until we've either found everything we need, or we've drawn through so much of our deck that we get to win the game with Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Now, Jace is the backup plan for this deck. What's the main game plan? Well, since we don't have any storm cards, we don't really get any benefit for casting a lot of spells. So that means we're left with drawing all of our deck, that's one benefit that we get, and putting a lot of counters on Mindsplice Apparatus, that's the second benefit we get. So what can we do with that? Well, Jace obviously takes care of the drawing through our whole deck bit, but when we've got a ton of counters on the apparatus, that makes cards like Crackle with Power cheaper. Now, if this all seems convoluted to you, don't worry, it all starts to come together once you see it in action. So let's get over and see a few games with this deck on the Ranked Explorer ladder. I'm going to start off with the initial version that had Banefire, and then I'll show a few games with the newer Crackle with Power version as well. I'm going to be with you for some commentary, but as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Alrighty, let's see if we can make this monstrosity work in Explorer. We've got Mindsplice Apparatus to start us off, which is exactly what we need. The next piece of the puzzle is going to be some proliferate spells. And then we'll need to find something like a big score or Pirate's Pillage to kind of churn our way through the deck. See what our opponent's on here. Beanstalk Giant. Okay, looking to get some ramp on. Ooh, many colors too, so we're not gonna have much time. This needs to happen on time. Oh good, we got a Contentious Plan. Able to proliferate at least once. We need to get 3 counters on the apparatus though before everything starts working real nice. Opponent with land number 5. Gonna go Relic of Legends. A little scary. Could involve Joda perhaps. Gonna sack the Terramorphic Expanse and grab a Swamp. Alright, well, let's get down Shivan Reef. Now's your chance, opponent. Do your nasty thing. Oh, just full price Beanstalk. Okay, well, in that case, Mindsplice will flash that in on the end of their turn. Always nice of the opponent to tap out. Let's see. Land number 5, Contentious Plan. That will get a counter on Mindsplice. We have no other proliferate, so we're going to have to dip into the graveyard here. Let's use Bond of Insight. That'll mill 4. Well, we'll get the Contentious Plan back, and then I think we'll be safe to take the big score, because that'll be 3 counters. All right, so Contentious Plan. Great. All right, let's get it going. All right, so I think we're in a good spot. We've gotten a lot of counters on Mindsplice. If we can use Magma Opus, we can do 4 to the opponent's face and tap down this blocker. So that's going to be 8 damage altogether. Well, once we get to attack. The next thing we're going to do is Alchemist Gambit. We'll have to do the dangerous version because we've only got 2 mana left. Alright, so we're set up for an extra turn. We'll discard to hand size. We'll untap, get another counter on Mindsplice. Let's see, Stormcarved Coast. I think first things first, we'll get in with the token we've created. Make our opponent go to 13. And just for the heck of it, we can Mindsplice. Sorry, Magma Opus using Mindsplice. An extra 4 damage. Better rate of return. Probably didn't need to do it. Think we had enough for this Banefire. So we'll just go ahead and fire that off for the remainder of our opponent's life total. And hey, all right, we got it working. Nice. Ooh, cannot keep this hand. 1 lander with no Mindsplice. Oh, there's Mindsplice. Let's keep this. We can put Banefire back since that's kind of a late game card. Late game for us. All right. Land, we get Experimental Augury. That's good. And we've already got a big score in hand. Let's get a land down. Our aim is to now use Magma Opus as a treasure creator. A little bit of ramp here. Opponent with Idyllic Tutor. What are you getting? Oh, 9 lives. Okay. Well, let's make a treasure. I suppose there's a way we can win through that. We don't have Grape Shot. Grape Shot would be perfect in this scenario, but it's not available to us. Let's get down our land. We'll sneak out a Mindsplice and just see what we can pick up. We might have to like repeatedly cast Banefire. Opponent with a Revitalize, though. Must have thought we had a counter up. All right, let's use this opportunity. We'll get Mindsplice going. We just need to get some counters on the apparatus and get up to 3. Just take a land here, so that's up to 2 counters. Confirm. Play the land. Let's use Contentious Plan. Get a 3rd counter and see if we can go off. Oh, all right. We got there again. Good game. Let's mulligan this. It's got enough lands, but we don't have a Mindsplice Apparatus in hand. This one, we don't really need Jace. Might be okay. We might be able to find it with this Experimental Augury. You can win if you go lower than 5 on this. It is possible. Even 4, I've done it. But it's not ideal. And okay, well, at least you know how to mulligan. All right, let's get in here with another one. We've got a Jace in our opener, which isn't great, but we do have Mindsplice, and we've got a Voltage Surge to kind of survive any early game plays. There's an Augury, which is great. I don't like doing it, but we can use Augury to get enough lands to play Mindsplice on time. Ooh. All right, we got a little vampire action going on here. Let's Voltage Surge that. Don't want that getting any bigger. Buys us a little more time. Ooh, especially if we're going to run into land issues. So what we might have to do then is use Magma Opus and discard that and get some treasures. Opponent with a Stensia Masquerade. That's cool. All right, let's use this opportunity to make a treasure. Great. We pick up another Augury, which is pretty good. A land would have been better, but I kind of want to save these Auguries now for when we can get the apparatus going. All right, Bloodhall Priest. That's a big one, but we're not dead yet by any means. It's Magma Opus for a treasure. Okay, of course we draw the land, but that's good. We kind of need everything we can get until we can get going, and we still need to find a big score. So right now we'll just pass. Opponent still doesn't know what we're up to. Okay, we'll just keep passing. Great. Opponent gets in. That'll be 4 damage from the vampire. We're down to 13. It'll get a counter from the masquerade. Okay, another vampire comes down. Now's the chance. Mindsplice Apparatus. Flash that in at the end of our opponent's turn. Great, there's a big score. All right, think we've got enough. Let's Experimental Augury. We will... we'll just take a Voltage Surge. I'm not quite sure I'm ready for Banefire, and we do need stuff to discard. 2 big score here. Let's Augury again. Great, Contentious Plan. We're going to need that eventually, I think. Yes. All right, let's see. That should be enough. Let's get big score going here. Oh, we didn't even have the win con yet. Good game. All right, this one looks keepable. I think we're good with this. We got Mindsplice. We got 1 Contentious Plan. Banefire actually kind of cluttering up our hand now. Would much rather we had a big score here. Opponent's on blue. Let's go ahead and get land number 2 down. Try and get a read on what they're up to. There are some cases where you run into an opponent with counterspells. All right, like a mana-producing Flyer Pixie. Okay. Some opponents with counterspells will, keep some mana up, and you just got to wait for the right opportunity, because luckily our win con is flashable. Well, let's use Banefire on this mana creature. That will buy us, hopefully, a little bit more time. Kind of worried this is a ultimatum deck. Never a good sign. Ooh, Cultivate. Okay. Gonna grab a forest and an island. Gotta watch these ramp decks in these older formats. The high-level spells are pretty good. All right, opponent with land number 5. I'm going to do a pop quiz. So that will draw them a card and pull a lesson out of the sideboard. They're still on the ramp plan. They're going for environmental sciences. That seems fine. We'll let them choose the land here. And flash in Apparatus at the end of the turn. It gets 1 counter. Let's Contentious Plan. That'll get us up to 2. All right. We need 1 more counter. Let's go ahead and solve the equation. So we can pick any instant or sorcery. Experimental Augury is super good in here. Let's Augury. That'll get us up to 3, and we'll put Jace on the bottom conveniently, and let's see what we can do.
Here we go.
All right, 1 more Augury. There's Alchemist's Gambit. That's great. Put another counter on the Mindsplice Apparatus. Do a Magma Opus at our opponent. That's interesting. It makes us tap 2 permanents. Okay, opponent at 18. We get a creature, draw some cards. Let's just go ahead and Gambit here. Think we've got enough to do this. Let's see if the math holds out. Terrible, terrible combo player here. It's Pirate's Pillage, discard. There's solve the equation. That's good. Think we've got enough here. Let's just do another Magma Opus. It's a decent rate, I guess, on some burn. All right, opponent down to 14. Think we can Contentious Plan. It's essentially free, right? If we're going to do a burnout win condition. All right, now let's solve. We will solve for Banefire. We will attack, get our opponent down to 10, and then we have just enough for a big Banefire to close out the game. Excellent. All right. Still working. Good game. Not sure about this opening hand here. Ugh, that one either. All right, there's Mindsplice. We're going to have to make this work. Too many opening hands with our win conditions and nothing else in them. We're going to put back Impulse and Voltage Surge. Oh, Sigarda's Aid. Are we going to get hammered? All right, what do you got, opponent? Just a pass. Come on. Sigarda's Aid is so cool. Okay, they've got to land. They've got to land. This could be a battle of the combos here. We'll play land number 3. Pass it on back. We don't really have any interaction right now, so... Okay, Fervent Champion. Just getting in with the champion. Nope, can do something here. Shadow Spear. Gonna put that on the champion, gain a couple of life. That's gonna mess with the math a little bit. Alright, let's do land number 4. Ugh, probably should have Banefired that creature. Alright. Opponent just getting in with the champion here. Okay, anything else? No, let's try to Mindsplice Apparatus then. Oh, do they have removal for it? No, they do not. Okay. They must have something in their hand, though. So we get 1 counter on that. We got a Contentious Plan. That'll get us to 2. We pick up a Steam Vents. We've got 2 Bond of Insight in hand. We might have to use that and go get one of our Proliferate cards from the grave. That will get us to enough for Big Score and Pirate's Pillage. Ugh. We'll get Contentious Plan and Voltage Surge back. All right, let's Contentious Plan. That should get us to 3. All right, let's see what we can do. Okay, we've got Alchemist's Gambit. We have Jace, but I'm not sure we've got enough cards left in the library to do it that way. I think we've got enough mana. We could maybe... not even enough for Magma Opus, though. Yeah, let's just pass. I mean, I guess we could have Gambited there for 3 and taken an extra turn without any consequences. Okay, there's the hammer. I'm going to try to put it on the small creature. Let's Voltage Surge that before they can do it. They're going to cast Rabbit Battery at flash speed. Not sure that... Is that going to... No, that's just +1/+1, so I think that's okay. Alright, so it still dies. We're going to take 2 from that. And then there's nothing to put the hammer on. Okay. Alright. We dodged that. Alright, I guess let's Opus now then. Let's do 4 to the opponent. Tap down a couple of things. All this life gain is really bad for a burn-based combo deck. Okay, Mindsplice gets a free counter. Let's get a land down. Alright, let's plan one more time. Get another counter on that. There's an augury. Okay, let's see what we can find. Augury into augury. Great. More counters. Augury, we've got Banefire. Let's take another Opus. Put a counter on that. Alright, I think... This is a tough one. We probably need to get in with the creature. Gets our opponent down to 18. Got to get these down to some more manageable numbers. Then let's Gambit. I mean, might as well do the no-risk Gambit if we can. God, has that been reducing that the whole time? Oh, I hope I haven't been missing out on that one. All right, we're taking an extra turn. We draw another Opus. Play a Steam Vents. We will Opus the opponent's face. Tap down a couple more things that are already tapped. Bring them to 14. Draws us a couple of cards. Might as well do it again. Tap down a couple of things. 4 damage. Gets our opponent to 10. We can... Yeah, that should be enough, right? This will take it to 6, and we've got plenty of counters on the apparatus to finish it off with a Banefire. Do a little plus, plus, plus. There we go. And... Excellent. Well, a little sloppy on my part, but we got there. Good game. All right. This could be fine. We've got an augury to go finding Mindsplice. Opponent with a Law Rune Enforcer. Alright, opponent just getting in for 1. Well, we are going to match our opponent for excitement with our turn 2. Let's get down a land. Can sort of hide the fact that we are 2 colors for whatever benefit that might give us. And Magma Opus, we can make a treasure with that, or we can augury and try to find Mindsplice. Let's try to find the Mindsplice. Excellent. We got one in the top 3, so we'll pull that out of there. Makes us miss one of our proliferate cards, but we might be able to go digging for it. And we've got Bond of Insight in our hand, too, if we need to recycle. You can see how these 3 cards just kind of loop around on each other and really let you do whatever you want as long as you have enough counters on Mindsplice. Well, our rank 1 opponent just getting in with the Law Rune Enforcer here. Let's make a treasure. If we need that later, we can always Bond of Insight it back. I think we'll play our land number 4 here, and then the plan is to flash in Mindsplice Apparatus on our opponent's end step. Opponent gets in again. Well, now's our chance. Mindsplice. Survives. We got 1 counter on it. Let's get a land and Experimental Augury. Think just take an Impulse for now. I'm dying to see if Crackle with power will work in here, and I think we need to put that away. Alright, we get Experimental Augury. There's a Contentious Plan. That's great. So now we've got enough counters on here for big score. Let's go. Experimental Augury. There's Crackle again. And take an extra turn. Yes. So Mindsplice will get another counter. I have to factor that into the equation. Opponent at 22, so that means we're going to need a little bit more mana for Crackle. Yeah, are we just a little bit shy? Let's see. Let's Magma Opus. Do some damage, draw some cards. Okay, we get Pirate's Pillage. Let's do that. Discarding Voltage Surge. That's essentially free. Actually gains us a little bit of mana. We've already used our extra turn. And we can see the bottom of our deck. And there's Jace. So we've only got 5 cards left. What can we do? Alright, well, let's get Jace down. That will leave us 1, 2, 3. 3 mana left. Then we can solve Bond of Insight. That will mill us for the remaining 4. Yes. Okay, we'll just pick up any 2, and then this final ability from Jace, just mill opponent, we draw, and that should win us the game. Good game. All right. This looks pretty good. We got Mindsplice, we got Proliferate effects, and we've got a Pirate's Pillage to start us off with. Just got to get up to 4 mana. Opponent doing a little bit of ramp with an Arboreal Grazer. All-Star in the Gates decks that I used to play. Running green and black. All right, we pick up Bond of Insight here. Let's get our 3rd land down. I'm good with just sitting tight for a moment. Apparently our opponent is too. No sign of dominance though, no getting in with the Arboreal Grazer just to show me who's boss. We're going to pass it on back at 4 mana here. We've got Mindsplice in hand. Just need a good window. Well, I'm glad they played that Boseiju. Let's give this a try. All right, we get a counter on it. Experimental Augury. Let's take Gambit. And Augury again. That gets us enough counters for Pirate's Pillage. All right. Let's see what we can get there.
Here we go.
All right. I think we've got enough. We've got Alchemist Gambit in hand. We're looking at 7 counters on Mindsplice. We could fire off a Magma Opus and still have mana left for this Alchemist Gambit if we do the risky version. See the opponent looking at our graveyard there. If we do the safe version, though, I think we might be all right with that. Let's see. All right, free counter on Mindsplice. That's up to 8. We play another land. Crackle with power. If X is 4, that's exactly 20. Point that at the opponent, and I think we can afford it. Yes, we can. 1 extra. And we got there. All right. Good game. Got a mulligan this. No Mindsplice. Do we go lower? Let's keep this. Think we can put back a Pillage. We do have an Augury to go looking. Man, if I'll say if any deck teaches you how to mulligan, it's a few rounds with this one. Opponent with a couple of... Oh, the Stone Brain. Haven't seen that a lot. Well, let's go looking, try to find our apparatus. Hopefully they don't know what we're doing. I think you do have to name the card before you go looking with the brain. Okay, opponent with a Plains. Not sure if they're on Domain or if there's actually a multicolor deck. Old Rutstein. It's going to net them a treasure. Okay. Oh, excellent. We pick up Mindsplice. Rutstein happens. Let's see. Insects, treasures. Okay. All right. Opponent is going to try with the Stone Brain. Let's see what they name here. All right. I don't think we've given away any clues. I think we just have to let it happen. All right, opponent. What are you going to name? Okay. Prologue to Phyresis. Okay. The Proliferate must have tipped him off that we were trying to do a poison counter thing, but... All right, we dodged that one. Well, they know the plan, though. So if there's anything they can do to disrupt it, we're still just going to have to go for it. Mindsplice, end of turn. Oh, no. Tear Asunder exiles the Mindsplice Apparatus. All right. Well, luckily the opponent's board not too threatening. They mill a Meathook Massacre. Land number 5. Rutstein gets in, hits us for 1. Dig up. All right, so they're going to go looking. Unfortunately, we don't get to see what they tutored for. Opponent casts Shigeki, so that means they might be able to pull back that Tear Asunder. All right, let's do a big score then and get rid of this Voltage Surge. We get Impulse and solve the equation. Let's Impulse then. All right. I guess we'll just take big score. We draw Experimental Augury. Okay. Let's pass. Opponent's Rutstein is going to mill Sheoldred's Edict. They're going to play a Blast Zone. They're going to get in with just Rutstein. So they're going to be able to use Shigeki's ability and pull it back. Yep. Soul Transfer. Okay. Urborg Repossessions. They're going to get a couple of things back in their hand. All right. So Titan of Industry, they're going to be ready for the next one. We got to go for this now. Oh, I don't want to discard anything. Let's do Experimental Augury, see what we can find. There's Mindsplice. Perfect. Okay, I think we can make this work. Here, let's cast Mindsplice. They're mostly tapped out. They've got 2 mana left. They could, if they have an extra Boseiju, they could get us. All right, but they probably would have done it already. Let's Augury. We'll get a Contentious Plan. We're up to 2 counters. Contentious Plan. That'll bring us to 3 counters. Yes. Let's see if we can make it work.
Here we go.
All right, we've got 7 counters. We have loads of treasures. We have Alchemist's Gambit in hand, along with Crackle with power. Let's do Alchemist's Gambit, set up another turn. Pass to that turn. Free counter on Mindsplice. This is our last turn before we lose. Island and Crackle with power. Got there through removal. Good game.